Good morning, weekday wanderers. Welcome to Paris. It's a lovely day. Not. It's a little bit windy, cloudy. It's going to rain today. This is supposed to be summer, but it doesn't really feel like it. Where are we today? We are on the Pont de la Concorde. We're over the Seine at the moment. And we're in between the 8th arrondissement and the 9th arrondissement. So behind me is, the 7th arrondissement. So the 7th arrondissement is behind us, and this building here is called the Assemblée Nationale, or the Palais Bourbon. I can see Anaïs is online. Bonjour Anaïs, my darling, how are you today? Well, I know how you are because we've just chatted briefly. Right, let's see. I'll turn my camera around, you can see the rest of it. Excuse me for the cough. Okay, so the Assemblée Nationale is the lower house of the French executive body, like the Parliament. Over here, I like this bridge here because you've got an amazing panoramic view of so many of the great sites in Paris. Hi Judy, hi Susan McGregor, hi Sally, nice to see everybody. Okay, so let me show you what we see over in this direction here. I'll have to zoom in for you. We have Notre Dame. Here we have the spire that you see is Saint-Chapelle, which is next to the Palais de Justice, and the Conciergerie. Sorry, we've got lots of traffic going past. And there's the Louvre, part of the Louvre. Okay, so we're right next to the Tuileries, and we will have a quick look at that over there. And then if I turn this way, this is my favourite view, of course, is La Tour Eiffel, and the beautiful bridge we have over there with the golden statues is the Pont Alexandre III. There we go, which is always very beautiful. And the large building roof that we see there is the Grand Palais. I'm heading over towards the Petit Palais, which is just directly opposite it, which you can't see because it's only little, hence been called the Petit Palais. Bonjour, Margaret Redrup. How are you today? I haven't talked to you in a while, so we'll have to catch up. Okay, so the Seine is looking lovely today. We've got lots of traffic on it again, which is great. Okay, so I'm taking you to the Place de la Concorde, which is here, and it's looking really messy at the moment. And Judy guessed why it's looking messy at the moment, because of course we are coming up very quickly to two major events. The first being the 6 juillet, which is the Fête Nationale. In the English speaking world it's referred to as Bastille Day, so that's the 14th of July. Just pop back over here again. From this angle you can also see the Musée d'Orsay, and oh yes, I forgot to mention that little dome next to Notre Dame, there's a truck there, is the Institut Français. Okay, so let's head towards the Place de la Concorde. Okay, so during the French Revolution it was called the Place de la Révolution. This is where they placed the main guillotine. So right in the middle there was a guillotine, and that's where a lot of the famous people got their heads chopped off, like Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, for example. Okay, prior to that it was actually called the Place Louis XV, so Louis XV, so it was built in his honour and at his time. Okay, let's cross over here because we have a green light. Okay, very busy at the moment. I can remember coming here during the lockdown where there was literally nobody, no cars, no nothing. It was a really bizarre sight. but it's definitely a lot more lively today. Okay, so if we look over here, we have the Musée de l'Orangerie. That's pretty famous for a lot of beautiful artwork, most notably the water lilies of Monet. So you've got two large oval rooms with beautiful water lily paintings, which are enormous, by Monet. So here we have the Tuileries Gardens. Pardon. And you can see there we actually have the Rue de Paris is back again, because in summertime, not that it feels like summer, but in summertime they have a great big fairground in the Tuileries. You can see another fun ride. Oh, there's Kieran. Hello Kieran, how are you? Welcome. Okay, let's cross over, we have a green light. This is always scary crossing in this kind of traffic, because I need to look at the screen as well as look at the road, and it's pretty scary. Okay, and they're lovely. So on the opposite side, so we're looking over at the Tuileries again. It's really difficult to see from this angle with all the traffic and everything. But over here, like I said, was the Orangerie. And mirror image on the other side, which you can't see because of all the traffic now, you can just see the roof there, is the Musée de Jus de Pomme. Not Jus de Pomme, which means apple juice, but Jeu de Pomme, which means game of tennis, basically. Very different things. Okay. So, why do we have this stand? 14 juillet. So, for the 14th of July, we have a défilé, which is a great big military parade, which goes down the Champs-Élysées. And of course, this is pride of place here for invited guests, such as the president and all of the government officials and the military officials. So, all down here, down the Champs-Élysées, they have seating for invited guests. Now last year, because of COVID, it was limited to, I think there was like 1,000 people who were only invited guests, but this year it's open to the public again, which is nice. And so everyone will get a chance to go and see it. It's quite a spectacle. It's always very cramped, and sometimes you can't even get onto the Champs-Élysées because it's so cramped. But we were there, I was there with my mum 2 years ago, and we got, no, we didn't get onto the Champs-Élysées, but we had a look on the outsides, and you kind of get to see the parade as they trail off to the, the other boulevard. But yeah, it was pretty good. It's always an exciting day. I always love being here for 14 juillet. Okay. So, what do we have in the middle here? So, this big thing in the middle is the Obelisk de Luxor. That was donated, we shall say, by the Egyptian government back in the early 1800s. And it was moved here under Louis Philippe in 1860-ish. So yeah, that was put here. So it has a twin, which is still in Luxor, back in Egypt. Okay. So my plan for today was to actually go to this building here, which is called the Hôtel de la Marine. It's just been open to the public for the first time in like 200 years. It's amazing. I think a few people have already posted stuff about it, and a few people have already been there. And I was hoping to go today, but I missed out on tickets, so I'll have to do that some other time. What I wanted to show you, point out, which I'm in a bad position to do so now, but we're in the middle of the Axe de Paris, and it's difficult to see from with all this scaffolding and seating going on. But so here we are going down towards the Champs-Élysées. You can see the Arc de Triomphe, and of course that's a great big long line that goes all the way up towards the Louvre, which you can't see from this angle, of course. But then there's other acts as well, which goes from the Assemblée Nationale with its neoclassical Grecian style facade. And if I were in the correct position, you would be able to see, facing it directly down here is, in fact we could probably head back down there, that would be probably better, is the Madeleine, which is the church with a very similar frontage. So they were done specifically as a mirror image of each other. Now let me catch up on all of the comments that you're making. Yes, Kieran says, always a scary place to be on the road, I mean. Absolutely, I totally get what you mean. Especially in Paris. Margaret Redrup says, we got caught in a fracas with the police and the yellow jackets, tear gas and all. Yes, that was fun, wasn't it? That was over on the other side, behind Madeleine, I remember that. I seem to think some people enjoyed getting involved with the fracas though. Haha. Okay, what else? We are the sounds of Paris, police cars. Yes, isn't it great? Right, we also have a couple of fountains. There's two fountains, one each side of the Obélisque de Luxor. So this one here is called the Fontaine des Mers, which means the fountain of the seas. And on the other side, which of course now you can't see because I've moved, is the Fontaine des Fleuves, which means the fountain of rivers. So you've got the rivers covered and the seas covered. Okay. Judy's just put a link about Binge on Paris, so that's fantastic. Thanks for that, Judy. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go back over here. Hopefully I can get a view of Madeleine from this angle. I should have got it when I was back down here before. Okay, so yes, I did have things planned for today, but it's kind of it's a bit messy today. But anyway, I'm hoping that I'll be able to see something interesting very soon. Later this afternoon, I'm heading back to Musée Carnavalet with my friend Terry, so that will be nice. Okay, so unfortunately Madeleine is actually covered in scaffolding at the moment, but yes, and we've got the scaffolding for the défilé, which is in the way, so unfortunately you can't really see it from this angle, but I hope you get the idea anyway. Usually without all of this stuff, it's really pretty. Okay, so where are we off to now? Well, let's talk about this building. So this is also a mirror image building of the Hôtel de la Marine. This one has two things in it. It's the Hôtel du Crillon and the French, the Fédération Internationale de Automobile, or the French car club. It's very exclusive. When you go past, you feel really, really bad because everyone's so filthy rich. Anyway, that's fun. I love Le Crillon. Have you been in there, Judy? I walked past yesterday and felt very intimidated. We got a little view of the Eiffel Tower there. Okay, we've got these things on each corner of the Place de la Concorde. Each of them has a name up the top. I don't know if you can see it at this angle, but it says Nantes. So that's obviously a town, a city in Paris, in France, sorry. There's one over here. This one's in Marseille. Which one? Yes, that one. And then there's this one here, which I couldn't actually read. I think it was Avignon, but I'm not sure. Okay, and so there's 8 of them all together. 1, 2, yes, 2 in each corner. So that's quite nice. Right, so we've got a lot of security going on. Well, not security as such, but barriers and everything to prevent people from getting run over during the défilé. Okay, now this is a dangerous road to cross because there's no lights. So I will check your comments in a moment. Okay, don't be intimidated, says Judy. It's for everyone. You can always walk into these beautiful places and enjoy them even without spending money. Yeah, I guess I could try. Like the day that I went into the Ritz and informed me that I couldn't go in for a drink because it was only for lunch. Yes, I felt very sad, but anyway, that's fine. Okay, so we have a big statue here. Albert I of Belgium, I believe. Okay, right, we're heading down here. It looks a bit messy here. They're just doing a bit of a clean up. So, to get to Concorde, it's on the Metro Line 1, Concorde. It's easy to get to. And obviously it's a hub of everything Paris and wonderful. So we have a lovely little garden here. So we're just on the edge of the Seine, heading towards the Grand Palais. Well, actually we're heading towards the Petit Palais. For everyone, Panam Podcast has an interesting episode this week about the death of the statues of Paris. Absolutely worth a listen. Thank you for that, Karen. We'll look into that. The death of the statues of Paris. It's intriguing. The Ritz response may have been more about COVID restrictions, but yes, they are pretty strict about what hour is for a purpose, like for cafes and restos. We'll go together. Judy, I am so looking forward to you coming to Paris, so let me know when you're coming. I know it's difficult, especially with you being in Australia, and I know the restrictions are particularly harsh that way. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope we can go very soon. Okay, so I walked past this little park here the other day and thought, oh, this is a lovely place to come for lunch. Look at this. It looks very exclusive. Again, I don't know if I'd want to go there, but we go there too, Judy? Okay. So if you can see over here, the seating scaffolding goes all the way along. This is the Champs-Élysées, or the beginning of the Champs-Élysées along here. So normally you can just see out onto the street, but you can't at the moment. Judy says we can't even leave here until 2022 or whenever. That's a real shame. Okay, look at these. They're tulips, believe it or not. They look like water balloons. Speaking of the death of statues in Paris, here we've got a beautiful one. We can only see the behind, but it is beautiful, this fountain. So here we have a modern representation of something. What do you think of this? Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading messages now. Looks like the end of 2022 for us, unless it's for 3+ months. Yes, I get that. It's rotten, isn't it? But agree. You are correct. That is very annoying, and I really feel sorry for anyone who wants to be here and can't be. So these enormous tulips, or water balloons, whatever you want to call them, are here behind. This is the Petit Palais. What does everyone think of that? What does everyone think of sculpture like that? So it's called the Bouquet of Tulips. It's by Jeff Koons. So Corinne loves it. Anybody else want to weigh in on that one? I like it, but I don't necessarily like it in this location. Just because there are so many other things that are a little more classical, like this beautiful edifice here. I love the Petit Palais. It is so little and pretty It was built for the 1900 World Fair, a Universal Exposition. It does have temporary exhibits which are payant, but the Petit Palais itself is free. It's one of these museums of Paris. It's a museum of fine arts of Paris. So you've got lots of very classical paintings and sculptures and the such. You don't need to get a ticket online. I mean, like at Carnivale, it's free, but you still need to actually get a ticket online. Whereas this one, I just spoke to the gentleman on the door, and he said that if you're just going to the free exhibition, then you can just walk in, which is what I intend to do very shortly. Okay, what time are we? We are at 10:50 a.m. So I'm just going to show you the frontage of this and then sign off. I will go in and take a few photos inside. There's a cafe in there, a beautiful garden. So I might sit down and have a cup of tea. So like I said, the Petit Palais is called such because there is the Grand Palais across the road from it, directly across the road. And unfortunately it doesn't look as pretty as it normally does because it's under a major refurbishment, so it's shut at the moment. And in fact they built a temporary Grand Palais on the Champ de Mars, just next to, in front of École Militaire. I haven't been to see it since it was finished, but it looked like a bit of a mess, I suppose, because it was being built. Yeah, so I need to go back and have a look at that. You're welcome, Karen. Thanks for the walk whilst we await being unlocked. It's my pleasure, absolutely my pleasure. Okay, so we're right next to the Pont Alexandre III. So that's real pretty. And of course that looks down to Invalides. This gentleman we're passing here is Winston Churchill, and actually the street that we're in is called the Avenue Winston Churchill. It was renamed in his honour after World War II. So here we have Alexandre III, the bridge, and Les Invalides, which of course is the Army Museum, and underneath that dome is the tomb of Napoleon. Voila. Okay. For once, Melbourne is less locked up than Sydney. I know, right? Okay, so here, let me just show you the sad state of the Grand Palais at the moment. It has a very famous glass roof, which is difficult to see from this angle. And obviously it's bigger than the Petit Palais, which is here. But isn't this beautiful? The door is just stunning. Of course, you know, it's just standing next to it, it's difficult to get the scale and the scope of it all. So yeah, this is where we will end our walk. Now, I did forget to say one thing. The défilé for the 14th, of course, requires all that seating and everything, but there is one other event taking place next week. Does anybody know what it is? It's happening on the 18th. It's the final, or the end, of the Tour de France. So the cycle race. And of course that ends, they go up the Champs-Élysées, they do a lap or a few laps around the Arc de Triomphe, and then they finish down the end here. So that's what's going to be happening just a few days after Fête Nationale, or Tour de France, that's right, the Tour de France, that's it. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening next week. So it's a busy week. Lots to see next week, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be here for it. I really hope to be. It's just that I have some other things on next week which I really need to attend to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will come in here to this lovely building behind me and maybe snap a few photos and show you what it's like inside. And then I'm off to Carnivale again this afternoon, but I think you've seen it all there. If I see anything interesting, I'll post those as well. So thank you for joining me for my little wander. I really love it here. Like I said, it's a great way of seeing a whole heap of Parisian landmarks all at the same time. So it fills my heart with joy. Thank you for joining me. Check me out on YouTube, and that's Ma Vie Française in one word. That's on YouTube. And Binge on Paris, as Judy has posted just before. Thank you very much, and hugs and kisses to everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Take care, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Oh no, actually, it's very late tomorrow, so I know a lot of you will be fast asleep. It's just I happen to be going out in Bastille tomorrow night, so I thought I would do a live video. I don't know if anyone will be there, but that's okay. Did you go to the 50th memorial for Jim Morrison? No, I didn't, but thanks for reminding me. Okay, take care everybody. See you later.